The Bank of Ghana, through a specially created unit, the Ghana Amalgamated Trust, is expected to inject 2 billion cedis of private pension funds into some indigenous banks who have difficulties meeting the new capital requirement. How are workers reacting to this arrangement? Join me on this episode of News Connect on City TV. My name is Kojo Ajman. Stay tuned. All right, so to touch or not to touch the untouchable, we understand that private pension funds are something that government or any other entity will not be able to touch unless it speaks to the private pension fund managers. But this is a case where government has established a private entity called the Ghana Amalgamated Trust to sort of touch your money to help some of the banks, the indigenous banks, who have not been able to meet the capital requirement. First of all, are you happy with this directive?
Well, I would say no. No, because pension funds are funds that belongs to the individuals, the contributors. And so, if government decides to touch that money, government has to consult the individuals who owns that money through the schemes. And the schemes are represented by boards. I happen to be a board member for one of the schemes. And to the best of my knowledge, this has not been tabled for discussion. Officially, I would say I am not aware that government is going to use any funds for this purpose.
Government is doing this to sort of help indigenous banks, Ghanaian-owned banks, so that our economy becomes very, very resilient. Are you not happy with this directive?
For now, I'm not happy with it. Or at least it's my money that you are talking of. And even I'm just hearing it from you that the government wants to use that money. And since the money belongs to us as individuals, our interest should be catered for, and the government should sort our input so that maybe the two of us will see the best interest. But going to give my money to somebody without my consent is not the best option.
Is it a good idea for government to use private pension funds to help a bank that did not adhere to corporate governance issues, for the bank to be closed down, for government to use try to use 2 billion cedis of private pension funds to bail out this bank?
I mean, first of all, I think it is for us a good idea that government is trying to do something to support and bail out indigenous banks. We think that we cannot have a banking sector that is completely foreign owned. It has implications for many other things we do, including even for the stability of the Ghanaian currency. So it's a good thing that government is trying to do something to support the indigenous banks. As to how government does it is what is the issue for discussion. And in this respect, the use of private pension funds, I think government has to come clear which of these private pension funds have agreed and which ones have not agreed. We are getting conflicting signals that these are not matters for the public pension funds. These are not, it's only for some selected private pension funds.
But hold on.
If you look at the law, I mean, whether the teacher's pension under, say, the second-tier pension or all other second-tier pension, whether in the public sector or in the private sector, are supposed to be privately managed. So when government says, and the Bank of Ghana says that some private pension funds, it is not too clear. Because actually the second-tier pension, they are supposed to be privately managed. So we want to know which one of these private funds, pension funds, have agreed to support, so that we all know the terms under which such support have been given.
It is an unwanted visitor because it flies at the face of what the rules and regulation says. And you don't introduce an amalgamated whatever without even having discussion with the owners of the money.
Hold on. You mean you were not in the known, or you were not contacted to over these issues?
We are not in the known. All that we had was a release by the Public Relations Unit of the Ministry of Finance. And then it got into the media, it got into the public domain, and it's being discussed. Let's find out, is there any document that will spell out the various details of those arrangements? We don't have it. Find out whether the various trust boards have met on the details of anything. It has not taken place. The trust boards determine where and where monies go to. The trust boards determine which bank, or who should be a custodian, who should be a fund manager, who should be an administrator, is determined by the various trust boards. Not government. Government is represented on the boards. Workers are represented on the boards. Employer is represented on the board. The board takes the decision, not the government. We have Hedge Trust, we have that of Ghana Education Service Trust, and so on and so forth. All these various trusts determine where their monies are sent. As a matter of fact, when you realize that your money is being sent to institution A, and you realize that institution A is not performing, the board decides to transfer funds from institution A to institution B to maximize interest and profit for their members. The formation of anything like an amalgamated something compels all these boards. You tie the hands of the various boards. They are compelled to send workers' money into this trust. That flies at the face of the Tier 3 pension law.
I'll come to you. First of all, wouldn't you rather trust your money with government rather than putting it in the hands of a certain pension fund trust board?
Not at all. As my president has said, if we were to trust government, it should be on the basis of a document we have seen and discussed, so that we know our responsibilities, we know what we stand to benefit, and what the risks are. We do all the calculations, then we can. Since we don't have any document that we have discussed with government, we cannot trust government. We trust our representatives who are on the board, that the boards are set up, where government itself is represented, will do a good job in terms of the investments that they will make for the worker. And that is what we think we would rather trust.
That is how we end this episode of News Connect on City TV. My name is Kojo Ajman. Keep watching City TV.